Good evening, everyone. My name is Ibrahim Sanusi. I am a graduate student of computer science. Here with me, I have Femi Oke and Michael Umako. Today, my group and I are going to be doing a short presentation to show a cumulation of what we have learned this semester for CS470. This presentation is on an implementation of an online bookstore database system on the Oracle database. I would also love to thank Dr. Anjum Razak for his efforts in delivering this course. So basically, the organization description of the online bookstore. This online bookstore is used. This online bookstore used for this project is a virtual store that allows customers to purchase books through a web-based platform. This organization simplifies the buying process for various types of books, catering to a wide range of reading interests. So now I will be discussing the entities that we came up with to design this online bookstore and their attributes. So basically here we have the customer entity, the book entity, the order entity, the author entity, the publisher entity, and payment. So under the customer entity, we have the attributes, which are the customer ID, name, and email. For the book entity, we have the book ID, the title, author ID, and publisher ID. For the order entity, we have the order ID, the customer ID, the book ID, payment ID, and date. For the author entity, we have the author ID and the name. For the publisher entity, we have the publisher ID and the name. For the payment entity, we have the payment ID, amount, and method. So here is a diagram showing the entity relationship diagram for this online bookstore. So as we can see, we have the different entities and the relationship between them. So now I would love to hand over to my colleague here, Femi Oke, to handle the rest of the presentation.
All right, thank you, Ibrahim. So I'll be sharing my screen and showing the codes and how it's going to be connected to our database system. So we have our codes here, and we will have it connected to the JDBC. Then the code will be creating the table and also populating it with some dummy data. So currently on our database, as we have here, you can see that we do not have any tables created. So I will refresh this to show us. So now I'll be running the code. And the code is going to connect to the database and also create the tables mentioned by my colleague. So can we see that? So the code is connected to the database successfully. So we'll go back to our database to verify the connection and the creation of the tables. So we'll make a refresh here. And from what we can see here, you can see that we have the authors table, We have the books table, the customers table, the orders table, the payments table, the publishers tables with their respective attributes. So from here, we can do select star to check. From, let's say from books. And you see, so there are no data. So you can see you have the book ID, title, author, and publishers. So this is the implementation of the code and the connection to our database. Thank you. So I'll be handing over to Mike, who will be implementing the second or third aspect of the assignment.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Femi, for taking the code description and implementation for our database projects. Hope you can all hear me. So I'll be continuing with the other part of the group projects, which is talking about the conceptual view and granting privileges to various stakeholders. For this, our online bookstore database implementation, the stakeholders that we have come up with for this project are going to be one, the database administrator, the sales manager, the inventory manager, the customer service representative, and the regular employee. So let me just share my screen. Yes. So continuation with that, because we are using the Oracle database at WIU, we do not have the necessary admin rights to create stakeholders on the database. But nevertheless, to give a full description of their privileges, the database administrator usually we have full access. That means the database administrator can perform select, insert, update, delete, create, and alter on all the tables. That means the database administrator has full admin rights on the database. Then the sales manager for this online bookstore is going to be having mixed access because he's able to manage customer relationships and sales data on the database. So the sales manager will be able to read and write to the orders, payments, and customer table, but will be only able to read from the books, authors, and publisher table. That is to check our product details and inventory without modifying entries on those tables. Then the inventory manager will also have mixed access. Will be able to read and write to the books, author, and publisher tables. That is, be able to update and manage stock levels, but will be only able to read from the orders and payments table. That is to give him the ability to monitor sales data without altering transaction records. That is for the inventory manager. The customer service reps will only be able to read from the customer orders, books, and payments tables. This will help them to view customer details, order status, book information, and payment status, and to provide customer support and to resolve customer inquiries. Then the regular employee will only have limited access. They will just be able to, have access to read only from the books table and the database. In our report, we also have the queries necessary to implement these privileges. But like I said earlier on, because we do not have the necessary admin rights on WIU database, so we cannot implement those privileges or create users for this our database. But we also have the necessary SQL commands to implement users in a real life scenario. Then in continuation for the requirements for the project, we're required to showcase a data dictionary that shows the entities, the views, and indexes. So we also have those necessary commands in our report. So that brings us to the end of our presentation for this small online bookstore that is hosted on the WI Record database. I hope we have learned a lot today, and thank you so much for everything.